Qela Castochla, Nuga Kaminawadzi, Gaitlach Yelis, Gaitlach Namris, Hetman Umpi Wasp Allah, Yutman Umpuchta Wasp Allah, Gatman Umpga Wasp Allah, Hetman Abumpi Atzgo, Yutman Abumpuchta Atzgo. Gatman a bump ga atzago. Hetman honukwi adidi. Now the word of the day in the sentence to the phrase to practice today. Remember, I have no I'm not following anything. I'm just trying to help with introductions. I'm getting myself all mixed up now. Trying to remember where I left off, and so now we're going to be learning Yu'min Khwanukuchta Adidi. Yu'min Khwanukuchta Adidi. Yu'min Khwanukuchta Adidi. One more time. Yu'min Khwanukuchta Adidi. Okay, so that's what you would say if your child is across the room. Yu'min, and that's your only one child, okay? So Yu'min Khwanukuchta Adidi. Okay, so he's over there. You can actually see him. I can see him, you can see him, and I'm pointing over at him, okay? Yu'min Khwanukuchta Adidi. Okay? So let's continue to practice, and we'll always review. I'd like to go over sounds and how to make them. I do have a bit of challenges though, because I have these braces and I'm starting to just get used to them, and it's taken about 2 months to get used to them. It's very, very hard, and that I kind of went through a little bit of a depression over not being able to speak properly, not being able to sing. I still can't use certain word combinations to speak properly. I mean, I'm having to laugh over them, speak over them. It's just quite the thing. But I can feel my teeth, they're moving. And it's only been imagine how it's going to be in 2 years. So this has only been 2 months. So, sorry, I just totally threw this right off. But I think, and I was having a conversation this morning with somebody about learning languages, and really literally you have to learn what works best for you. For myself, I learned the best through hands-on, actually in the scenario type setting, and TPR has gotten me to where I am, plus their master apprenticeship program, and I worked one-on-one with an elder for 6 hours a day. So I was always exposed, especially from birth, I was exposed to language. So I actually have it in me, right? And but to help somebody else learn, you have to kind of think outside your own brain and then come back in. So you got to put yourself in their shoes on what and how can I make this easier for another person trying to learn, right? And I've also had the question, do you think over all the years you've been studying language you would be fluent? I've had someone say that to me. I'm like, well, you too, you're Bakwam too. So it's a lot of pressure, and I feel that people don't understand, we're all good at something. Some people are good at being a secretary. I'm not good at organization with that kind of stuff. Some people are just really good at doing other jobs, and I happen to learn fast with Kwakwala. Another thing we were talking about was learning through trauma, and I really appreciated this one course and class that I took recently, because when you are a child and you're traumatized, or you have PTSD, or you have so many which I feel led me to almost a learning disability, because if you're traumatized so much and through abuse, it can stunt your growth a bit. And So when I'd go to school, I was a real emotional child. I would see a lot of stuff before I went to school. A lot of stuff would happen before I went to school. So my brain was always like fixated on what I seen before I went to school. So which really stunted my growth, right? So my granny would take me, and she had a really, really awesome way of teaching me. Number one, she would cuddle me when I'd see her, and she'd hug me, tell me she loved me, and made me feel safe. And then she would help me learn, because it was like, it was almost like I was dyslexic in a way when I was trying to learn. And then the other thing I would do was I would draw, or I would like scribble over things over and over and over. And then I felt like that was like regulating my body and keeping me calm. And or I would draw things, or I sang, or I wrote lyrics. Like I would listen on my little record player and listen to the same song over and over. Or I'd try and mimic things that was happening on TV or whatever. But at school, because I was bullied quite a bit in school, and a lot of people made fun of me. So just trying to do the whole self-regulation thing and calming myself down all the time was the way I made it through life. And actually with language, with our language, Kwakwala, I had to find my way, and this is the way that I found that made the most sense to me. Is my comfort zone was being around elders, and the language that we heard in our homes was only Kwakwala. So that's where my regulation was because I was raised by my granny and grandpa. I was exposed to a lot of elders and a lot of language where there was barely any English, right? So but back to what I was saying is that you have to find your own way on that's going to work the best and the easiest for you while you're learning your language and culture, or our language and culture, because it's we can only give you just a little bit of fairy dust, and then it's up to you to go off and go branch off and go and find the best way that's going to work for you. Maybe think of how an elder speaks. Okay, well, I really, really love the way my Ada spoke, so then I always try to mimic the way that she spoke, and so yeah, that's what we just gotta do what it takes, guys. Do what it takes to help save our language. This is the longest video I'm gonna do. I think I had a 10-minute one before. So let's go through a quick review, okay? Nugo Now you say your name. Diayklanlach, and you say the village you're from. Diayklanlacha, the tribe you're from. Hetman Umpi, now say your dad. Yutman Umpochta, your dad's over there. Say his name. Do that one again. Yutman Umpochta. Gatman Umpga, say his name. Gatman Umpga, say his name. Now you're going to introduce your bump. So, Hetman Abumpi, say her name. Hetman Abumpi, say her mom's name. Yutman Abumpochta, say her mom's name. Yutman Abumpochta, say her mom's name. Gatman Abumpga, say your mom's name. Gatman Abumpga, say your mom's name. Now you're going to introduce your one child, okay? So, Hetman Huanukwi Adidi. Oh, you're filling in your blanks. Okay, if you have one child. Hetman Huanukwi, and you say their name. Hetman Huanukwi, say your child's name. Yutman Huanukuchta, and you say your child's name. Yutman Huanukuchta, say your child's name. Okay? So this really This exercise is really important. You can write it the best way that you can and the way that you know how. And if you need the spelling, then I can help you with it. Go back into my videos. Keep spreading the word of Kwakwala. Keep practicing your accents. Keep practicing how to say the words. All we can do is just try the best that we can to preserve our language and keep pushing forward. So, hala kasta ochla, qila kasta ochla, tla chola nu quinklus.